All right. So we're coming back to finish this up. Doop, 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 doop.
I'll do a recap before they go.
Okay, great. I'll do that. All right. Hi, Dolakbo. Hi, Kemi. Tasi, it's been so long. My God. How are you? How's the family? Hello, husband. Welcome. Dolakbo, how now? Kemi, you came in late, but there's a lot of catching up to do. Don't worry. Oisko, Extreme, Mayakun, everybody, welcome back. So, Jide, Pastor is here, so please send me an invite. So we need to quickly wrap this up, right? Thank you guys for coming back. Thank you. Hit right on it and then try to wrap it up immediately. Tell me, welcome back. Ushan, Tilera. Thank you guys for coming back. Polani, how are you? All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much. We're back from our commercial break. Yeah, thank you, Julie, for that. Okay, so Pastor Muyiwa, can you continue from where you stopped?
Oh, we don't have time. Let me just pause so that we can do all the questions. You said 10 minutes. So let's take all the other questions and then we'll go.
Okay, great. All right, so we said that masturbation is a no-no, right? It's a no-no in marriage.
Okay, wait. Some people are interested in oral sex. Let me give you a bit of our own experience.
All right.
When we started up and we started talking about, okay, maybe oral sex we should try and all that, I used to have a problem. My problem would be that, how can I use the mouth I'm using to preach? Use it to do something else. But later, I discovered that really, over time, if that will help your wife, go ahead and do it. So that's very important. Okay, somebody is saying sex after childbirth.
Okay, so let me explain this question. So sex after childbirth, how can you get your mojo back? So maybe before the pregnancy came, sex was great, and then during pregnancy, your wife's mojo kind of went down. How do you bring back our mojo up even after she has put to bed? Like, what do you do as a man? And Pastor Muyiwa, the question is directed to you.
I think the first thing is to know whether our body is back. If our body is back into the right frame, then you can begin to explore how to get started. Because the truth of the matter is that most times, a woman that maybe did a C-section and she's still trying to heal, and you want to go back in the first 2 weeks to start her ABBA. Calm down now, calm down. She's not running. So you just got to, and then there's a way to explore and be sure that she's ready. And when she's ready, then you can go ahead. But if she's not ready, it's not going to work that way. That's number one. Then number two, over time, by the time when our body is back, you will know. And then you can now go ahead and, our body is back, Joe. How do you know? Are you good?
Come on. I agree with Joe B. He's back after almost a year.
No. If that is the issue, we'll come and meet you people. Your own is special counseling. That one is not for this one. So can we continue?
Joe B, the body is back, I agree.
So let's move, right? Let's move to the next questions. All right. So there was a question that I think Jide asked the question. I'm sure I missed it, but we'll go back. We'll look at it, right? So for now, this question is for somebody asked me, and the person is not married, right? So they said that for singles, maybe Pastor Bisi can help us with this question. How can you be certain that your husband or your wife will satisfy you sexually, especially when there's abstinence that we're preaching the Christendom? So this was a question that somebody sent to me. So Pastor Bisi, help us here.
Okay, when what? I need to hear the latter part. When
abstinence is what we are preaching for Christians. So how are you going to be sure?
Your man can do.
Okay, how to know if we can do, I cannot do?
Yeah, how are you sure that both of you to satisfy yourself sexually?
Okay, I'll answer your question from the reverse. Let's assume you don't have liberty to do this if you're going to do marriage was instituted by God, and there are tenets, whether we agree or not, that guide this institution. And one of it is no sex before marriage. And honestly, that thing is for our own good. It is until you get to the marriage side, breaching that law or that rule is part of why we have problems in marriage. So you have tested several guys for a woman, and they've done it this way. Maybe you've been with 2-3 guys. Your husband is not even meeting up to the energy and the drive of those people, it becomes a problem. You suddenly believe you don't even know how to do. However, if you've not had any prior experience, whatever, somebody said I changed face. I changed face. I don't play when it comes to that one. If there has been nothing to compare your spouse with, is you guys exploring your body. It is a more beautiful experience. There is no somewhere in your mind you're making love with Muiwa, but it is the daily skill you're having. Those are the kind of things that cause present. A part of how, listen, I think I'm going to answer from the reverse. Let's say you go ahead and you do it, okay, and you certain that yes, his manhood is there, he's correct, she can do, okay. What happens, God forbid, 6 months, 8 months, 1 year after the marriage, something goes wrong and he has erectile dysfunction. So what was the purpose of your experiment? Did that prevent that from happening? Or he has an accident and something affects his ability, from waist down to be able to do anything. So have you actually secured your future? So when God puts things in place, it is for our own good. Of there are women who have gotten married and have had to even lose their womb before they even, have the first child, because they had cysts, they had fibroid, they had cancerous womb, and the only way out was to take up the womb. So really, who is wiser here? I don't personally, subscribe to it. How can you know? Anyone that truly loves you, no matter how born again you guys are, you will see emotions. Once in a while, you will see your guy rise. I'm not saying that as a law, as a rule, but in a lot of cases, you will see your husband rise. Don't ask me what rise means, but I guess if they understand, because I can see the smile of our face. Yeah, sometimes he has a rise because he's around, except he's not attracted to you. Some of those things will come into play, no matter how born again he is. That's why we say courtship is a time for all your senses to be alert. That's why it is at those seasons you've seen having a rise. When I say rise, you see probably he has an erection. You can see it 3,000. That's when you begin to want to okay, probably you want to go and say, okay, I need to get something outside. And you, even if your bag is there, and you go and come back and say, you know what, make sure you get my bag to my house some other time. I am in my house. How is it doing you, boy? You get some of these things you will see. Can I be practical? You will see. So we don't need this experimentation. If God says you don't need it, trust me, you don't need it. But if somebody lies to you, and you get married, and probably the first week or the first day, you find out that this person is impotent, under the law, and even before God, that marriage is null and void. A court of law in Nigeria will dissolve it. Will dissolve it.
Even
and
the
you go to church, we will dissolve
the marriage.
So
because until the marriage, until you consummate a marriage, it's not a marriage, whether before God or
before the law of land.
So there has to be a consummation. So if a man lies to you, that's not a problem. Come to me, we'll dissolve the marriage. No story.
Awesome. Good stuff. Okay, ma. So the next question now is this. If, for example, there's an issue with sexual style, so a particular style that the wife likes, the husband doesn't like it, or this style that the husband likes, the wife doesn't like it, how do they agree? So the husband likes something, but the wife doesn't like it.
Do all the styles now.
Yes, it's one person likes a particular style, that person doesn't.
You know what? Listen, this is practical. When it comes to sex, I don't think you want to do sex for 5 seconds or 2 seconds. So if you use it, let me tell you, there are certain styles that work for a party, while the other style may not work for the other person. So, but if you really want to, if you love yourself, you can do both styles.
Okay, I think I understand what my husband is saying now. If this is what works for me, for someone like me, okay, let me be vulnerable here because we're talking practical stuff. There are certain positions I lie in the bed, I will never get an orgasm in that position. And that's why I said, because we've explored our bodies, but my husband knows that this girl, probably if I'm not lying in a particular position, maybe the side of my body, he knows that once I get there, because it helps the angle of him penetrating to the G-spot. All these things I am understanding. And so even though I don't like some of the positions he likes, when it's time, because it's mutual pleasing, I'll do the one that pleases him. He also looks for a way to flick me to the position that pleases me. So it's a mutual pleasing. There's no problem with one person liking one style and the other person. But you must be sacrificial. Do the one that pleases that person, and that person should do the one that pleases you. Take rounds, and you understand. There are positions that does it for me to orgasm, and those positions doesn't do it for my husband. The position that does it for my husband to really, really, it doesn't do it for me. But because we are mutual pleasing each other, I'll do for him, he'll do for me. Case closed. Everybody's satisfied.
Right. So if it doesn't please you, just do it. and then at the end of the day, you get your own turn too. So you both share the displeasure and the pleasure.
Please him with the style that works for him, and he to please her with the style that works for her. Not his fault.
Okay, amazing, great stuff. Okay, now so the next question I have here is wait. All right, so now it comes. Is it enough? Is sex an enough reason for people to divorce in marriage? Is sex a reason enough? Sex. Is it a reason? Is it big enough as a reason for divorce to happen in marriages?
It is, it is. Because if the other person doesn't feel that, look, we are having what we are supposed to have, and then we say we are married.
And you are telling me not to.
Because really, there are three major causes of, challenges in marriage. Communication, sex, and money. Those are three high on the scale of hierarchy. Those three are very important. Money must be in marriage, sex must be there, communication must be there. So please, let's just tell ourselves the truth. Please your man. Let your man please you. Otherwise, some other people may be pleasing the other party somewhere else. I know in this world, we have all kinds of people that are ready to please anybody. All kinds of people. And then, please, I want to say this to the world. Please make sure you please your man so that he will not be exposed to all these people that are using all kinds of things now.
He's exposed. You should also express. You should have an exercise discipline. Excuse me. We too, we are exposed. Yeah. And we are exercising restraint. We see all sorts every day. Let's stop giving this men leeway for drama.
Right. Right. So sex is a big enough reason.
This is for madam. Please read the question.
Oh, okay. Before I get there was a question before this one though. If PM mistakenly have sex with someone else during marriage, how will you handle it? Now we're going to infidelity. This
okay. Is it your question? It's my question.
Okay.
It's not your question. It's my question. I want me to translate. Okay. Olufumbi, this is it. I say this under God, not with any sense of pride, but with a sense of trust in the person that I have been rolling with for like 20 years now. My husband will not be caught doing that. And I keep on, entrusting him to God's hand to keep him, because of his own, he can't keep himself. If it ever happens, I think we've had this discussion. The way we are giving ourselves advance upon this. I don't think there's anything my husband can do that I won't forgive. Do you understand? I don't know which of these discussions we even had, but it's not going to happen. 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 One, because I trust that he's a man that fears God, not because he even loves me, but because he fears God first and foremost. He has a heavy destiny over his life, hanging over his life. So it's not something he's looking out to do. In the first few years of marriage, when I used to still fumble and we're not got the house together, you'll be like, you this super, you know it's because I'm a pastor, like, there's nothing you can do. I said, you know what, me and we even stop it. Those are the first, 2 years when we didn't understand ourselves. I said, see, me, I won't stop you. You know what, it's your destiny you're playing with. Pastor, you know the things God has said about you. You're playing with your destiny. Okay, so apart from that, I don't think there's anything, my husband, most of us say, please let me fish it out. I don't think there's something he will do that I won't forgive.
Forgive, I pray for that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so another person asked a question. Oh, she said that even if there's a child outside, you are already tempting another
outside of marriage. Okay, yeah. So let me take that. First and foremost, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that that's going to be a sweet pill to swallow. It's going to be a bitter pill to swallow. Will I be another? My husband knows I'm going to take control P. All right, but it's not going to scatter our marriage. It's not big enough an issue. Guess what? What is binding us is beyond that we are together. Purpose is what is binding us. So that the devil wants to come and hear his ugly head through one thing. It's not big enough. The problem or the question I want to ask myself is, do I want that child to live with us, or my husband should just take responsibility for the child? But in all these things, it ain't going to happen. Not in this marriage. But if it happens when that ground there in God, I'm going to be angry. I'm going to scatter ground, but that's where it ends. Because what is binding us together He passed sex and he passed penis and vagina. There's purpose and there's vision by it. Yeah.
Okay. So there's one more question that came on the stream before I don't know if another question will come up, then we can wrap this up. So how do you manage children and sex? Somebody asked and I wrote it down. When children come, it can be a distraction to sex. I'm trying to, I hope that's what children and sex.
Oh, you can see how I just did her. I've gotten out of that bracket now. My first daughter is 12. My son is 10 and the last one is 6. So
It's 7.
it's 7. So I'm out of that bracket, but I'm trying to project back to when it was that way.
Okay, great.
It can tear a couple apart. I can imagine the first few weeks after our daughter came, our first child. Can you imagine? My husband was actually jealous of my daughter. I was like, it's like the attention has shifted because before she came, it was just me and him, always cutting. But right now, you see, when one baby is doing well, I'm tired, I'm stressed. We didn't have a help then. We didn't have anybody stay with us. It was so much of work. Okay, and so my mother was like, he was going to give me vibes that he's like, I don't have his time again. And my mother like, you know, man, shout up, you're a baby. Like, you're actually, I thought you're actually competing with a baby, like, like seriously. But then after a while, I tried to look for a balance. Do you understand? And we tried to do things together more. Like when the baby is asleep at night, we found out that we had to harness more of our. Because one of the things we used to do together a lot was pray, but there didn't seem to be any time for that again. So I remember that we had to sit down like, what's going to work for us at this point? It's like we'll shift our prayer times to the middle of the night. I think she seemed to sleep through the night so we could have that time to bond. You will always have to look for a way around it, please, but do not allow any baby separate you. And the men, please be understanding, the first few weeks, the first few months, people will allow. A woman is still trying to get her acts together and find the balance and the middle point. Be understanding.
And then, man, that child is your own.
Abi.
So if you help out with the child, you can free the woman and get her a little less stress, such that when there's any free time, you can at least have some rounds.
And she's, who's talking about rounds?
And she's free. She's asleep. Because, you know, I've seen that in some area, some parents are not careful with what they watch or with, you know, what they are doing. And so their children are not fully asleep when they begin to have sex. And then when you begin to do that, you're introducing the child to what the child should not know. And that's why there should be, as much as possible, we trust God for separate rooms and all that. And then for us, as a matter of room, one of the things we did in the early, when the children became like 2 years or thereabout, from 1 year was that, look, we have a rule. Every child must sleep at 8 o'clock, whether you like it or yes. So what we'll do is, if you're not sleeping, we'll put you in the room and off the lights. You will cry, once you have eaten.
Okay, I think thank you for reminding me about that. That was one thing. That was one of the things I used to free myself very early on with my first 2 kids. So then my pastor will call and it's like, so where are the kids? I'm like, which kids? They've gone to sleep. My pastor was like, Pastor B said Burugon. I said, no, Pastor, I'm going to run insane. I'm going to run mad. I've been with this child all day. Yeah. What's she doing this? What time do I have to, you know, bond with my husband? See, my sanity is important here. Only a sane mother can take care. Those are the things that happen, and you find women killing their own children, little babies. Some of them is just simply mental health issues. They couldn't handle it anymore. So you know, if you're educated and you are well read, please, you need to do well. There should be boundaries. I don't subscribe. I'm not castigating any parents who is on this table, but I don't subscribe to you telling me. I have so many of our family friends tell us, how do you guys do it? By 8 o'clock, your children are in bed. Listen, you are the parents. Your child cannot be parenting you. What's the problem? You're telling me by 11 at this time, you sleep, soon we crying. It is by training. Bible says train up a child in the way he should go. And for a very long time, even up to now, once he's 8, my son resisted so hard. He resisted so hard. He will cry, we'll throw tantrums. Then my husband will put our food down. We'll go to bed. And so we switch off the lights. When there's no light, he sleeps off. Somebody might say that's cool. Listen, you have to mold children to what you want them to be.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So after a while, he got used to it.
At what age do you do this? At what age do you do this? Let me know. What age?
Almost from very early on, like
from once the child is able to walk and
this one did not
and can eat. Once the child can eat, and then you have fed the child, I beg.
My second son was not working yet. I think it was like 1.5 years. Because children will always stretch your limits. They will stretch your limits. They want to know just how much they can push you. So you need to understand that. Sorry, some people say it's military, but it worked for me. Why? I didn't have a help. I needed my mental health, in check, or else I won't be able to take care of them. I'll be shouting on them, shouting on my husband. Someone is 8, they know, you guys are going to bed, like seriously. Yeah. And so because I programmed them that way, even when they got to, there are times I want to indulge them. Okay, you can watch movies. My son is sleeping. Once he's 8, it's like an alarm goes off his head. Mommy, I want to go and sleep. Oh, you're free. You want to watch? He said, no, I want to sleep. Then we go by themselves to sleep. Once he's 8, I had programmed them that way. Why? So that we have peace of mind. Me and my husband can bond. Children, because these children will go away.
Yeah.
And that's why some couples can't seem to find any meeting point. Synergy. Once their children are older. And they go. Because they have children to take
over everything. No, you can't allow that. Yeah.
Perfect. So then one last, I hope this is the last question so that I can excuse you. So somebody just asked me now that how do you balance work, sex, and children even if you work different shift patterns, like working nights and days? So how do you balance it? So I'm assuming that maybe somebody is doing night shift, morning shift or something. So how do you balance work, sex, and children? I'm sure it's the pressure from work.
Organization. Everything is organization. Like whether for the man or the woman, yes, there are spontaneous sex, but sincerely, the truth of the matter is that when it comes to sex, it's a mental thing. I think it was on few days. My pastor, one month, my pastor has always saying that okay, he plans that he's having sex today and he will have it. And I'm like, how do you plan sex? Maybe it's just something that flows naturally. But I discovered that yes, you have to plan. I mean, if for such a person, there has to be a plan. You have to know how to structure. I mean, if you structure your life well, there will be a time that both of you will be together. And then there will be a time that the children will not be around. So structure your life. There is no other way.
So your working shifts, I believe you guys must have had a timetable either in the office. So you guys sit down with it. Okay, these are the days it seems like we seem to be around together. You can structure a date night around it. We all know that a date night will culminate into sex, last. You understand? It's part of the whole drill. So everything in life is, you always make room for what is important. Because if you don't have that mindset, somebody says spontaneity, you're too nice. Whatever works for you. You understand?
And then somebody asked that when is too long away averagely? So somebody's asking on that one that when is, I mean, how far is far? Like, I'm sure it has to be in frequency now. That when is too long? When should you be checking? Like, it's been a long time.
I don't seem to get the question.
You see,
so I think I understand what the question is saying. For example, so you've not had sex with your wife or your husband in 4 days. At what point should you be thinking like, it's been, there's already a gap in this sex thing. What's happening? So when
body reacts for
you. If you are not a woman and you're the type that like, it's the men don't do all of those things. It's the women that always used to have those kind of thoughts in their. You see the men, they don't do. Forget that. That when the thing starts standing up and following you all over there, say, why are you rising all over the place? Why are you rising?
That's one. Another thing is that where there's serious love and togetherness, somehow, it can find you in the kitchen, it can find you in the dining room, it can find you anywhere. When it finds you, it will be expressed. I don't think I should explain that. I think if you understand what I'm saying. The thing will find you anywhere. Where it finds you, do as occasion serve you. Period. The Lord is with you.
Wow.
Yes, so the grandparents thing also helps. Somebody saying during school holidays, it helps.
I beg. We are partying them away. So we are doing home alone. Serious.
That's a good one. Okay, thank you so much, Pastor Mima, Pastor BT. I think I have exhausted all the questions. I hope there's not even in the car.
Even in the car.
Even in the car. Okay.
Then the car will not spoil, right? Anyway, thank you.
It will spoil from our bounce to me.
Alright. Okay, so this brings us to the end of today's session. It was so amazing. It's like we should not even go. You should not because the questions were just a lot. I think it's like the largest number of questions I've had. And questions kept coming. I knew that bringing Pastor BT back was going to shake everything back, and then Pastor Miwa just had to add the icing to the cake. So we were ready. We knew that was going to be like the topic text. Everybody will just be like, wow. So thank you so much, Pastor Miwa, Pastor BC. Thank you very much for coming, for always being there, your presence. I mean, everybody's excited. We can see it already. Everybody's grateful. Guys, please say thank you to Pastor Miwa, Pastor BC. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. All right. So, so I'm going to just excuse you now so that I can finish. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you, Ma. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. And my wonderful family, you guys are amazing. Thank you. I know I hope it was value for your time. Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for the love, for the questions. I hope that we answered all your questions, right? And then, from next month, we're moving to another series entirely. So for now, we're chilling on marriage and we're moving to something else, right? So I told you guys the last time that I'm going to be needing your details. Okay, so after this session, the link is on my bio. Please just go there. Please put in your details. I just need your name, your email, and all that stuff so that we can have all your information, right? So that's just the basic thing. So let's have singles conversation. Don't worry, Pompe, I got you. We're bringing something hot for singles. I can promise you. But this one was for both singles and married because everybody needs to learn about stuff like this, right? So yeah. And then if you have any more questions, just maybe your question was the answer, you can send me a DM and then we can take it out of there and all that stuff. So thank you all for coming and God bless you. I love you all so much till we come your way again. Thank you, thank you. I can't call everybody's name, but you guys are amazing. We'll be back. We said us to be back again next week. Next month, please. Thank you. Teddy Daniel, Fundi, Eunice, Maya, Kwayani, Dorothy. Motherhood with DMG, Sister Monsu, I mean my sister. Oh my God, you guys, I love you. Thank you, Lanika. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. And bye.